Once a great philosopher came to Buddha. He had a lot of questions to ask him. He came to Buddha and started asking all his questions one by one. Buddha was listening to him and said, "Do you really want the answer? If you really want it, can have to pay the price?" The philosopher replied, "I have been searching for the answers my whole life. I received answers from many different people, but every answer I received raised more new questions. What price do you ask? I am ready to pay the price no matter what it is. I just want the answers to my questions and want to leave this life satisfied." Buddha replied, "Good on you. Most people want answers, but are not willing to pay the price. That's why I had to ask you. You have to sit in silence for 2 years. This is the price. Sit near me in silence for 2 years, and when 2 years pass, I myself will tell you to ask all your questions. At that time, you can ask whatever you want answered. I promise that I will answer everything. But for 2 years, you have to sit completely still and silent. Don't bring anything up for the next 2 years." The philosopher was thinking about whether to say yes or not. He thought to himself, 2 years is a long time. What if he does not answer my questions even then? Then he asked Buddha, "Do you give full assurance that you will answer my every question after this time?" Then Buddha replied, "I give you my complete assurance that if you ask, then I will definitely answer. But if you do not ask, who will I answer?" All of a sudden, a disciple who was sitting in meditation under a tree nearby began to laugh very loudly. The philosopher asked Buddha, "Why did he start laughing?" Buddha replied, "Ask him." Then he went to the disciple and asked him the reason. Disciple replied, "If you want to ask something, ask now. I was deceived in the same way. He made a fool of me too, but I can tell you that he is telling you the truth. If you ask after 2 years, he will definitely answer, but who asks after 2 years? After remaining silent for years, nothing remains to be asked, every answer is received. If you want to ask now, otherwise nothing will be left to ask." The philosopher wanted to know answers to all of his questions, so he decided to stay there with Buddha. He would sit every day silently. He had forgotten the track of time because one whose thoughts have become slow loses awareness of time. But Buddha remembered the time. Buddha went to the philosopher and said, "2 years have passed now. You can ask any question you have. I will answer everything as I promised. Do you have something to ask?" Philosopher started laughing and said, "That disciple was right. Now when I have been sitting here for years, I have nothing left to ask. Through your grace, all the answers have come to me." The moral of this story is that in the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom, we often seek answers from others, hoping they hold the key to our enlightenment. But this story teaches us that the deepest wisdom can be found within ourselves through self-reflection and inner stillness. Sometimes, the answers we seek are not in the words of others, but in the silence of our own mind.